I'm sorry, but I don't have specific information on a satellite called Chandrayaan 3 inches in my knowledge base, and there may not be any information available about it as of my last update in September 2021. It's possible that this is a newly developed or classified satellite, or it might not be widely known. If you have more details or if Chandrayaan 3 inches refers to a different satellite or topic, please provide additional context or check the name for accuracy, and I'll do my best to provide relevant information. Chandrayaan 3 was launched from Satish Dhawan Space Center on 14 July 2023. The spacecraft entered lunar orbit on 5 August, and the lander touched down near the lunar South Pole, 8, on 23 August at 18:03 IST, 12:33 Coordinated Universal Time, making India the fourth country to successfully land on the Moon, and the first to do so near the lunar South Pole. 9. Note 1. On 3 September, the lander hopped and repositioned itself 30 to 40 centimeters, 12-16 in, from its landing site. 13. The Vikram lander and Pragyan rover were set to sleep on 2 September and 4 September respectively due to deployment and solar power with sunset and the lander and rover are planned to start working again at local sunrise on September 22. 14. 15. Background further information. Chandrayaan program. See also, Lunar South Pole on the 22nd of July 2019. ISRO launched Chandrayaan 2 on board a launch vehicle Mark III, LVM-3. Launch vehicle consisting of an orbiter, a lander and a rover. 16. The lander was scheduled to touch down on the lunar surface on the 6th of September 2019 to deploy the Pragyan rover. The lander lost contact with mission control, deviated from its intended trajectory while attempting to land near the lunar South Pole, and crashed. 17. 18. The lunar South Pole region holds particular interest for scientific exploration. Studies show large amounts of ice there. Mountainous terrain and unpredictable lighting protect the ice from melting, but they also make landing scientific probes there a challenging undertaking. The ice could contain solid-state compounds that would normally melt under warmer conditions elsewhere on the Moon. Compounds which could provide insight into lunar, Earth, and solar system history. In return, future ESA missions will receive similar support from ISRO's own tracking stations. 22. Objectives. ISRO's mission objectives for the Chandrayaan 3 mission are: engineering and implementing a lander to land safely and softly on the surface of the Moon. Observing and demonstrating the rover's driving capabilities on the Moon. Conducting and observing experiments on the materials available on the lunar surface to better understand the composition of the Moon. 23. Spacecraft design. Chandrayaan 3 comprises three main components: a propulsion module, lander, and rover. Chandrayaan 3 encapsulated within LVM-3's payload fairing. Chandrayaan 3 encapsulated within LVM-3's payload fairing. Chandrayaan 3 integrated components. Chandrayaan 3 integrated components. Propulsion module. The propulsion module carried the lander and rover configuration to a 100 kilometers (62 miles) lunar orbit. It is also box-shaped, with 4 landing legs and 4 landing thrusters capable of producing 800 newtons of thrust each. It carried the rover and has various scientific instruments to perform on-site analysis. 26. 27. The lander has 4 variable thrust engines with slew rate changing capabilities, unlike Chandrayaan 2's lander, which had 5, with the 5th one being centrally mounted and capable only of fixed thrust. One of the main reasons for Chandrayaan 2's landing failure was attitude increase during the camera coasting phase. This was removed by allowing the lander to control attitude and thrust during all phases of descent. Attitude correction rate was increased from Chandrayaan 2's 10 degrees per second to 25 degrees per second with Chandrayaan 3. Additionally, the Chandrayaan 3 lander is equipped with a laser Doppler velocimeter, LDV, to allow measuring attitude in 3 directions. 28. 29. The impact legs were made stronger compared to Chandrayaan 2 and instrumentation redundancy was improved. It targeted a more precise 16 square kilometers (6.2 square miles) landing region based on images provided by the Orbiter High-Resolution Camera (OHRC) onboard Chandrayaan 2's orbiter. Instrument for Lunar Seismic Activity (ILSA) will measure the seismicity around the landing site. Orbit after a series of Earth-bound maneuvers that placed Chandrayaan-3 in a trans-lunar injection orbit. 34, 35, 36. ISRO performed a lunar orbit insertion, LOI, on the 5th of August, successfully placing the Chandrayaan-3 spacecraft into an orbit around the Moon. 1. After 11.5 minutes, the lander was 7.2 kilometers, 4.5 miles, above the surface. It maintained this altitude for about 10 seconds, then stabilized itself using 8 smaller thrusters and rotated from a horizontal to a vertical position while continuing its descent. 4 quarters. Thank you for providing information about the Chandrayaan-3 mission. 1. Here is a summary of the key details you provided. Chandrayaan-3 mission overview. 1. Chandrayaan-3 is the third mission in the Chandrayaan program, conducted by the Indian Space Research Organisation, ISRO. The mission includes a lunar lander named Vikram and a lunar rover named Pragyan, similar to those on Chandrayaan-2. 1. Chandrayaan-3 was launched on July 14, 2023, from the Satish Dhawan Space Center in India. It entered lunar orbit on August 5, 2023, and successfully landed near the lunar South Pole on August 23, 2023, at 18:03 IST. 12:33 Coordinated Universal Time. 1. Background. Chandrayaan-3 follows the Chandrayaan-2 mission, which had a lander and rover but faced difficulties during the landing phase. 1. Objectives. 2. Chandrayaan-3's objectives include safely landing on the Moon, demonstrating the rover's capabilities, and conducting experiments to better understand the lunar surface composition. 3. Spacecraft components. 4. Chandrayaan-3 consists of a propulsion module, lander, Vikram, and rover, Pragyan. 5. Payloads. Various scientific instruments are carried onboard the lander and rover to measure lunar surface properties, seismic activity, and chemical composition. Mission profile. The spacecraft was launched aboard an LVM-3M4 rocket on July 14, 2023. It went through a series of Earth-bound maneuvers before reaching lunar orbit. The Vikram lander separated from the propulsion module on August 17, 2023. The lander successfully touched down on the Moon on August 23, 2023. The Pragyan rover deployment also occurred on August 23, 2023. This mission represents India's continued efforts in lunar exploration, with a focus on studying the lunar South Pole region, which is of significant scientific interest due to the presence of ice and its potential applications for future lunar missions. Please let me know if you would like more specific information about any aspect of the Chandrayaan-3 mission.